Welcome back, race fans, to SVR. My name is Webbo, here to help you along through the S1 race, live, of course, on the SVR Racing channel, as we have been all season long. Great to be here with you all. And first of all, I must make a big apology. My voice is not quite what it should be, but I will do my best to mute or move the microphone if I do need to cough. But my voice is a little bit ropey today. So if we do have any kind of hold-ups or tricky situations, I will probably take a break from voicing stuff up. We're about to get underway for qualifying. Yes, an actual qualifying session, and we're very happy about that here on the channel. But this is how the standings look after the Red Bull Ring race, which we published just earlier in today after I've been away for a holiday. So Delesi lead the championship at the moment by only 5 points from Coach Dave, and by only 10 points from Mega Racing. Delesi now in that lead position. Coach Dave second and Mega Racing third. Kimmy's racing team have 191 points, still very much in the mix for the podium positions here in the team standings in S1, with JPI, Jamplakt Interiors and Brokaga in 5th and 6th place. Bergstein currently on 7th position with 100 points, but everybody on triple figures so far anyway, which is great to see, nice and close. And it's a slightly different story in the Drivers' Championship, because we have these incredible drivers, Beregoz and Vader, at the head of the field. Beregoz, after being level on points with Vader going into the previous round, managed to gain 3 points on him, and has taken a lead with a third win here of the season. So it's 5 wins to Vader, 3 to Beregoz, but with that missing race for Vader, it does leave us in an interesting position as we head into round 10 with just 13 rounds total left to go. So before we start today's race, it is going to be a situation where we of course have 4 to go, including this one today. BaloFey is in third with another third place, but hasn't been able to score a win yet in the championship. He has 121. Soulshock moved into 4th place on 84. We have Vicinity in 5th on 73 points, gaining the points little by little, but a while since his last really ace score. Then we've got Scabby in 6th, Jogon Sim in 7th, and Senor Dude in that 8th place. Yank the Tank is in 9th, Mario is in 10th, where Grizzle, QT, Redux, and the new sensation Skycloud is only 3 points away from the bottom of the grid, from 13th position, getting off that bottom of the grid. And has only taken part in 2 races yet so far. So we're looking forward to seeing how the drivers get on. They are actually going into a genuine qualifying session as we speak. So we can join that session. They will be filtering out from the pit lane. And forgive me, I probably just need to make a couple of adjustments for my screen's sake as we take a look then at who is number 1 in the on track at the moment. It looks like it's Senor Dude who went out first of all. This is, for the uninitiated, this is the Croatian circuit of Dragon Trail and the Seaside variant of it. We do have a number of corner names for you today, as we designed last season, but there is actually a competition going. It's raising money for charity. You can submit, you can vote for your name of what is colloquially around the Gran Turismo community known as the Death Chicane. This is the one coming up now. I call it the Krokop and Volkov Chicane, as we named our corners after famous Croatian sports stars. We were a little bit lacking when it came to famous Croatian racing drivers, but we've done our best. This is, of course, Senor Fax's home ground, so he'll be looking forward to some good results next week in the G Series races. But for now, we'll be focusing on our SF23 and our drivers here. And this is Senor Dude as he heads through the Kovac first corner, which is flat out in towards Suker, the left-right chicane that climbs the hill as we head over the top and then through Bogdanovich corner and into Ishii, which is a flat-out approach to turn 6, the Perisic corner. Waiting to get that throttle on neatly on brand new soft tyres. Short kink to the right, number 7 is Vida, into Petrovic, turn 8, and Rakitic, turn 9. This is flat out for our SF23s. Cilic is turn 10 before we head through the slight bend of Kukoc corner, and then the biggest stop on the grid down into Modric, turn 12. You can take an early apex and a late exit, or you can do it the other way around. It looks like Senor did it the first way. This is the Krokop and Volkov chicane. This is absolutely easy, flat out, in qualifying trim, but put some weight in the car and shed some rubber off the tyres, and we may have some issues. Down towards Ivanisevic corner, the final turn, 17 at the end of sector 3, and he will fire out of this hot lap, and he gets the fastest lap. Of course he does. Vicinity beats it quickly though, quickly ahead. Yank the Tank comes through. Behind another driver in the Delesi, that's Beregoz who takes provisional pole. Yank the Tank in 4th, we've got Redux crossing the line, he gets 5th place, followed by Skycloud. Can she do anything to get up into the lofty heights of pace with Vader and Beregoz? No, looks like a fairly pedestrian lap there from Skycloud by her high standards. Where Grizzle's in 12th, we've got BaloFey about to cross the line, he's the final one on the track. There will be no change of tyres, and BaloFey splits the title favourites, Vader and Beregoz, with only a 1.5 hundredth of a second gap between himself and Beregoz. That's fantastic, and great to see Marcel, AJ, and Taylor here. Thank you. Good to be back, and I'm happy that you'd say something quite so complimentary as that, Taylor. Thank you so much. Good to hear that you're cheering on Brokaga, Marcel. I understand you've probably just taken part in a race as well, so just had your debut race with us. This is Vader heading through that Krokop-Volkov combination chicane, sort of a bus stop, right, left, right situation. Down towards Ivanisevic we go. Is this even faster than his 120.312 very late apex? And then no, straight into the pits, I'm assuming, to get a hold of a new set of boots on the car. BaloFey is full attack, maximum attack going through that chicane, and you've got to just commit as you go through. It is a frightening prospect. Down we go into the Ivanisevic corner, and we will see new laps where Grizzle sets a new a new record for him. Solshock likewise. BaloFey into the pits. Solshock's gone up to 5th place. He had some problems getting off the line, as far as I understand, from in Red Bull. Hopefully that issue won't plague him in a similar way in this next one. But yes, it basically lurched him forward. He wouldn't respond to any controls. He then ended up trying to downshift and went into reversed back onto its grid spot as other drivers were launching, and it all just kind of went a bit wrong, unfortunately, for our fantastic driver Solshock. But absolutely no malice, of course, in it whatsoever. This is an outlap for Beregoz. BaloFey is also on an outlap, so is Vader. Let's try and find you a driver who isn't. This is Solshock, who has decided to continue here. He's really grained up those front tyres. You can see it visibly on the circuit as you're watching Beregoz's onboard, of course, with the little red symbol next to his name, as it's showing as him being the fastest, but I'm showing Vader as the fastest driver so far, a 120.312, but actually on the Hector display Beregoz is showing as a 20.2, so I'm not quite sure how that is working out. Solshock on his way into the pits. Let's see, let's ride with Vader then, who I believe has the pole position, but we will wait to see. Thanks, Red, appreciate it. And you can see the little crown symbols next to your names. That's an ongoing leaderboard as to our top fans. So keep the chat running, keep sharing videos, liking things, and you will become number 1 on our chat leaderboard. It's a new feature with YouTube, and it's my first time live with it. So yeah, we're just enjoying that new thing to play with. That's a purple sector for Vader by 2.5 tenths of a second. That's a 1/4 of a second to the positive here. as he heads through that snaking section. Vida, Petrovic, Rakitic, Cilic corner, and through Kukoc as he heads down towards Modric, the big stop. And just after that big stop, you will see an update on his lap time. Through we go then. It's 6 minutes 52 on the clock of the 10 minutes total. There we go. He's gained even more time. He is finding time with the low fuel situation. He goes through Krokop, through Volkov as he heads underneath the tunnel. And down we go in towards the final corner. Ivanisevic, he is 0.4 of a second up at this stage. There may be a car in front of him that will help him with a little bit of a tow on the way through the corner, but something went a little bit awry on the exit out of that Ivanisevic corner, and he crosses the line. He held on to a 4/10 deficit, 4/10 gain, but it may not be enough as we run through. This is Beregoz on his second flying lap on this set of tyres. He has managed to get himself ahead of BaloFey by a decent amount, but he's still 0.4 of a second away from Vader's hot lap. Let's see, as he exits out of Perisic corner, we'll get an update on his lap time. Is it hot? Is it not? It is not a hot time, unfortunately for him. BaloFey pits. Vicinity is looking good in 4th place. Check out Team Mega in P3 and P4. Solshock was quick on his lap. Let's ride with Solshock as we wait for the next ones. I am asking for you to spam us in the chat there, Red, with positive and good content. Let's not just spell things out or something. But I suppose it all helps with our metrics here on the SVR Racing channel. So keep it coming. I know who you're cheering for, Red. So I thought we'd watch on with Solshock here. And that's a personal best sector from Solshock. He is 1.2 seconds away from the aliens at the head of the field, but he's doing a great job here for his team. 1.2 seconds is his deficit at the moment total. He is going faster than he has been before, heading downhill into the big stop, the Modric corner. Waiting for that all-important Sector 2 update that arrives now, and he's further up, but not probably quite by enough to take on the top guys here. Solshock in 5th. I'm not even sure he's knocking on the door of 4th unless he can put in an absolutely stellar run here through the final corner. 9 minutes and 6 on the clock. We'll check out Vader momentarily. Let's see if we can get a better time on board with Solshock. Can we do better than 5th place? Not quite, unfortunately. We're riding with Vader. It has caught up now on our overlay at the moment, showing that Vader is on top with a 1:19.755. The clock is about to run out. He's got a bit of a tow from a teammate here, but it's not going to help at this stage. Let's see about Vicinity. How is Vicinity doing for Team Mega? Can he possibly get up above his teammate? He's only 0.3 of a second away from BaloFey. Team Mega locking out row 2 at this point, and we'll see how the strategies work out throughout the course of the race. We were heading straight for that orange barrier through Volkov, and Vicinity holding his breath through that second part as it started to unravel for him, but it's looking good at this stage. Running through then that final Ivanisevic corner as we run out of the hairpin and head towards the line. Vicinity, can he do any better? It's his final lap, and it is a slight deficit from him. This is BaloFey. Beregoz will do no better than his current time, which is a 1 minute 20.171. Back to BaloFey, who is nearly 0.4 of a second away here from Beregoz's time. But he did split the title rivals earlier on. BaloFey, our Italian racer, as he heads out of that final corner, gets a little bit of grass, and he does split the top 2. What a time from BaloFey, getting only the second driver in under 1 minute 20. Wow, what a tremendous finish from him. Excuse me a moment. And Vader on a 1:19.755 is 0.2 of a second only ahead of our fantastic driver BaloFey. Seasoned veterans, these top 6 drivers here who took part in the 2024 season. It's Vader ahead of BaloFey, with Beregoz some 0.4 of a second behind Vader, but in 3rd place now. Vicinity in 4th, making a Team Mega 2 and 4. Solshock in 5th, Senor Dude in 6th. We've got Jogon Sim and Skycloud, 7th and 8th. Skycloud keeping her powder dry, possibly. That's a slow time by her high standards. So maybe she will be lighting the touch papers there. Thanks, AJ. I appreciate it. I hope I feel better soon too, because I've got so many races to commentate and catch up on. Redux in 9th, Woe Grizzle in 10th, and Bedsty Mario in 11th. Scavvy and Yank the Tank qualifying 12th and 13th, as they did in the Red Bull Ring, bizarrely enough. But they came forward, and Scavvy, for me, driver of the day in the Red Bull Ring. So that was the situation. Hopefully the drivers will give me enough wiggle room here so that we can do the driver introduction video. Great stuff then from QT for that design. AJ saying this should be an awesome one. That was my holiday. It was good, although health matters weren't ideal. But yes, no, great holiday. Thank you so much. As Big says, let's go the F1 stops, but SVR keeps on rolling. Yes, we do, at least for another 4 rounds anyway on alternate weeks. Of course, next week will be the turn of the GT3s around this great circuit, and if you want to rename the Death Chicane, the Krokop-Volkov Chicane here, then you can find your way. I'm afraid I haven't prepared an actual link to this, but you can find your way via the SVR News tab in our Discord here. It is Tiltify, and the link I will post in the chat. Why don't I just do that? That would make a lot of sense. And you can vote to rename our chicane in time. Here we go. Let's do that. Let's hope that works. Does that work? Excuse me a moment. Juggling keyboards as usual. No, that won't work. Idiot. I need to actually copy the link. There we go. Okay, let's try the next one, because that didn't work. Remove that one and then paste that one. And send. Okay, let's see what happens there. I don't really know what's happening at the moment with the race. It's being set to the 45 laps that we need. Red's going to miss the next race. I'm sorry to hear that, Red. What will we do without your disconnection event? I'm sorry, but yes, that's a shame. So hopefully you'll be back for the following 3 rounds of the season. Let's have a look at how our calendar looks for the remainder of the year. We are currently in round 10. Then we go to Spa-Francorchamps for Red is never going to miss Spa, I hope. A 5-lap sprint, a 21-lap race with the Nürburgring Grand Prix on the penultimate round of the season. And we're better to finish the season than the Temple of Speed itself, the Autodromo Nazionale Monza. And we look forward to that no end, 31st of August and the following week, of course. So that's how the calendar is looking. And just to give my voice a little break while I catch up on what's going on, I thought we'd have a quick tour of the SVR shop, which is available from svrracing.printify.me, svr-racing.printify.me. Let me just paste that in the chat as well. It was linked earlier on, but we'll just have a look at some of the amazing designs that our great t-shirt designers have been organising for us, and you can have a look. We've got one specific one for the previous round, and there's a different USA, different regions for everything as well for you. So you can see this one was designed specifically for the Red Bull Ring. Fantastic, beautiful design there. And you can sticker up your racing rig or your race suit and gloves if you so desire. One for the Kyoto round, which looks very, very cool indeed. You can see that. But some great options, some specific for team kit options as well. Happy race day, love to see that. Okay, we've got about 6 minutes, so I'm going to go quiet while I just browse the website. And we will be turning out those start lights in 6 minutes time. So be back in 5 if you are going to grab a snack or a drink, of course. Okay, folks. Well, I hope you didn't mind that little tour of the merch store. While I'm having to rest my voice, I haven't actually got a great deal of extra content. We were thinking of doing a really cheesy ad for this as well. So if you want to see something like that, or if you're good at that kind of thing, then get involved. Make the cheesiest ad for the merch that you possibly can. I'll even voice it up if you want to, and we can have some content to go for these search incidents. We've got nothing on the weather radar as far as I can see. Out 50 miles, 50 and 100 miles out of the location here in Croatia. It is a seaside town though, so we'll see about the wind direction. We're looking at 3.2 meters per second to the due northwest. It's suddenly changed to a 3.5 meters per second, so we'll get trackside for you momentarily. I'm just going to go ahead and give a refresh there for Hector. Hopefully Hector will understand that we're going to be into a race. I'm going to also just make sure that we get everything on the screen that we need to and nothing that we don't. Oh, come on. I'm a little bit rusty. We're ready to get underway. BaloFey is in second. Vader is in first position on the grid. The 5 lights are on for round 9 of the S1 Championship, and it's dropped the clutch and go, go, go. Nice steady start from the drivers. Nobody apparently jumping the start. Nobody clattering into a wall that's very close by. But as they head down towards the first corner, looks like BaloFey has a slight overlap on the inside. No, he doesn't. Vader takes the whole shot in through the first 2 corners, the chicane, and looks like Vicinity has dropped a position to Solshock. Vicinity on the soft tyres, Solshock also on the soft tyres. Beregoz settling into 3rd position, currently on the tyres there himself, on the mediums that is. Excuse me. And we'll have a look back at the start momentarily, but we've got Senor Dude up into 6th place. That's a very wide moment from Skycloud, who is certainly not quite as hooked up in this race as we were perhaps expecting given her performance in the Red Bull Ring. She's got Woe Grizzle right behind her. Skycloud running the medium tyres. Woe Grizzle on the softs, defends to the inside to Skycloud in towards the Modric corner of turn 12 as they go through in towards that death chicane for the first time. Wait for the fireworks later on. We have seen drivers be able to go completely skyward here, and it would be appropriate, I suppose, if that were Sky Cloud that went towards the clouds. But Senor Dude up to 5th position with an absolutely electric start from the Coach Dave Delta driver, who was mired at the back of the grid in Red Bull, and Vicinity misjudging the exit, kind of clattering into Senor Dude. That will bring Sky Cloud right back into this hunt now, and she will peel across to the inside as they head down towards Suker for the 2nd time. And what a textbook overtake from Skycloud there. Vicinity left to make his own arrangements, and he's got Woe Grizzle right behind him. But at the front of the field, Vader leads BaloFey and Beregoz, but it is so close between the 3 of them, and this is absolutely electric stuff here from our great drivers as we get purple sectors. Be careful on these curves, guys. The cars will hop and bounce and get launched in the air. How about Solshock in 4th position as well, right on the back of these drivers as BaloFey chases down Vader and goes for the inside line. BaloFey makes a great overtake on Vader, and can he hang on here around the outside through Modric, and through they go into that death chicane, and BaloFey is your new leader of the race. Beregoz still taking it steady on these medium tyres until they get back up to temperature, but Vader did not have an overtake from BaloFey on his list of wishes for this race before the 2nd lap was done. BaloFey unlocking something very special here. Vader on the medium tyres, BaloFey on the softs. So that explains it slightly. Skycloud dropping back behind Vicinity, I believe, for a moment there. I just want to try and catch some of the action from the start of the race. This is how things were looking for our drivers away from the start. It was really quite clean from everybody. This must be Jogon Sim here at the back of the proceedings. Looks like Mario and Yank the Tank stuck back down in 13th place as we fire on out of those early exchanges, those early corners. Jogon Sims back down into 7th place, down into the last position at the moment, with BaloFey leading Vader by 0.4 of a second. What a great run here. It's in race mode, says. We are in race mode now. It's okay. It has reset, Biggs. Thank you very much. As we run through, then BaloFey picking up the purple sector here, and this is frankly quite an easy sequence now in flat out for the drivers. Although when those tyres get a little bit worse for wear, we are going to probably see some incidents and some wall banging as the drivers run through. Vicinity in 5th place, dropping some 2.6 seconds to Senor Dude's 4th position, and Vicinity nowhere on pace on the soft tyres. Maybe though he's playing a very canny game here. This would not surprise me if Vicinity were protecting those tyres in the early portion to try and stretch out their life. Well, Grizzle's in 6th, Bedsty Mario is in 7th. Great start here from Bro Cargo. What a tremendous run they're having. Scabby also up from near the back of the grid into 8th place. You've got Vader dropping to 9th. Vader down to 9th position. My apologies, I don't know how we've been able to miss that moment, but Vader right down in the order, down, way down, and I can't catch in the replay buffer exactly what happened to our champion-elect here, and let's see what happens then as we run through, because Vader is now going to have to do quite a miraculous job here. Stuck on the medium tyres, got rear of the car damage, and down in 9th place. Redux in 10th, Jogon Sim in 11th, Skycloud in 12th. Ren says Vader spun. Thank you for the info. Yank the Tank in 13th place. And keen-eyed among you will be watching Vader's POV stream, and you can always rewind that. I don't have that luxury, unfortunately, of doing just that. Vicinity, looks like Vicinity's just made an overtake there. Let's go back to see what happened. This is Vicinity. So as we go through the chicane, are we going to see another driver off the circuit having a problem as we run through? We certainly heard tyres momentarily there. I didn't quite catch exactly what happened, but Vicinity is in 5th position and chasing down now Woe Grizzle and heading in towards the Suquez chicane. Woe Grizzle on the racing soft tyres, so is Vicinity. They were together at the start, but Vicinity now catching Woe Grizzle again, and we go back to battle mode for the two of them. Car 42, Vicinity chasing down Woe Grizzle's Bro Carga. Bestie Mario between him. He's the meat in a Bro Carga sandwich at the moment. Is Vicinity, and running over the top of the hill through Chilich and Kukoc corners, heading down towards those cruise ships just off the coast of this Croatian seaside resort. In towards Modric we go, and Vicinity eyes only on the car in front. Let's see, well, can we keep that accelerator pinned all the way through? Oh no, we do duck out of it in the 3rd corner of and the first part of Volkov in the chicane. Great to see. Black Evo saying good pass for Scabby. Excellent. Okay, well, I'm probably too late to catch that, unfortunately. Scabby is in 7th place. Let's have a look at what just happened. No, I think we're a little bit too far back away from the action in the replay buffer. Unfortunately, it was worth a try. But Scabby in P7. Looks like Vicinity has just got, or getting, Woe Grizzle as they go side by side into Suquez chicane once again. And Vicinity just getting by Woe Grizzle. Looks like, let's have a look. How did that look from Woe Grizzle's point of view? Did he have enough space at the corner? Woe Grizzle to the outside, tries to turn in. Vicinity is there. I think you'd argue he did have enough space at the corner, but that will certainly be in his mind and in his team's mind at the moment. Woe Grizzle in 5th, Vicinity up to 4th place now, thanks to the overtake and the spin there of our title challenger. Vader. Now Beregoz having to absolutely make the most of this opportunity here. While Vader is out of the picture, he cannot allow the wind to slip from his grasp, you have to say. BaloFey though looking great on the soft tyres, and I think the recent changes to the tyre compounds from the GT7 updates and how we're managing tyre wear here at SVR, and all the race settings has definitely seemed to bring the soft tyres into play in the last 2 rounds of our championship. BaloFey and Beregoz then fighting over first position, but it's a 3.5 second delta. We've got Solshock in the provisional podium positions in 3rd place with Vicinity in 4th, Woke Grizzle in 5th. We may have just had an overtake there. I think Mario may have just been involved in something. Redux is in 7th, Dragon Sim in 8th. Here is Mario in 9th place. No problem on the car, as Vader is now down in 10th position. I think he may have gone in to repair the damage potentially. I'm not 100% sure. I would imagine he would have lost even more ground if he'd done that, but there's no damage on the car anymore. Skycloud in 11th. We've got Yank the Tank in 12th. I'm absolutely certain that Vader had damage earlier on. And Senor Dude, unfortunately, right at the back of the grid. He was showing so well earlier on, but in lap 7 of 45, Senor Dude is at the back of the grid on new tyres. Whether he went through his soft tyres, I think it might be a little bit early for that, as you've got BaloFey then leading the race by 4.3 seconds, and that is very impressive, albeit on the soft tyres at this stage of proceedings. Let's go down through the order and check out where we've got some close racing. This is Mario closing in on the back of the Delesi driver, Dragon Sim. And as they run under the tunnel and head in towards the final turn, 17 turn Ivanisevic, and finish up their 17th lap. His best time so far, 1:22.515. I've lost my fastest lap. BaloFey has it, according to Hector. That's a 1:20.647. And I will just check out the driver feed. Hopefully we can get you... well, I clicked on Mario and I ended up with Vader. So I don't quite understand that one. That seems to be wrongly coded. But anyway, it's gone to the next one. It's gone to Vader's point of view as we watch Mario chase down Dragon Sim. As Red says, go Kimmies. Apex is not happy with what's happened to his coach Dave colleague, Senor Dude, unfortunately. Maybe if you've got some inside info there, Apex Specs, it'd be great to hear from you. But Bedsty Mario chasing him down at the moment, chasing down Dragon Sim. Redux is ahead of this group and also in amongst a battle of his own here. So perhaps I will try and choose Mario this time. No, that's gone to BaloFey. I'm afraid someone needs to tell Mario, needs to tell Beregoz that when I click Mario, it is going to the wrong driver. Unfortunately, so it's now gone to BaloFey and I'm trying to select Vader. Oh dear. We're having some issues today, unfortunately. This is Redux versus Scavvy. Scavvy looking great out there. Starting down in the order in 12th or 13th position with his teammate, but here comes Redux powering out of the final corner, using a little bit of that overtake boost that's available to our SF23 drivers. They all, of course, start with the same amount. It's all a matter of managing what you have at your disposal. As Scavvy then, P7, unfortunately loses out there on a very straightforward, looked like a DRS pass. It was not. It was a push to pass overtake. It's a battery that doesn't get recharged here. It's basically just to add some extra horsepower as we run through. Further back, we've got Dragon Sim eking out a gap away from Mario. Another 2 drivers are locking horns once again. I don't think they've actually stopped locking horns here. Where Grizzle and Vicinity just come. Yes. As our drivers, our chat audience are just competing with each other as well to get the positions on our leaderboard, which is great to see. Keep it up, guys. As Woke Grizzle's in 5th, and he's chasing down Vicinity. One moment, I just need to take a drink. Woke Grizzle on Vicinity once again and using that overtake pass to make the pass on the way through the final corner and down the start-finish straight. Woke Grizzle into the provisional 3rd position after Solshock has pitted. That's got to mean that BaloFey has been has got to be coming towards a pit stop. Well, Grizzle has been protecting these tyres, so has Vicinity. BaloFey has been going at absolutely full chat. We're not even a quarter of the way through this fantastic race 10 of the 13 race championship as we get down in towards the business end now, and Vicinity is certainly following Woe Grizzle and trying to find a weakness, trying to find a way through. Can he do it? As Pick says, Redux is doing really well. Red is trying to get that position, and Black Evo's denied him. Unfortunately, it now makes absolutely no sense whatsoever as Vicinity heads into Krokop, through into Volkov, and you can rename this chicane if you donate to our charitable cause this season within the next few days. Link in the chat earlier on. As Vicinity follows down just 0.3 of a second behind Woe Grizzle. This looks like a great battle between the two of them for the remainder of our race. I would imagine we will just quickly. Well, here comes Vicinity using that overtake once again, and the overtake button really making these passes very easy for our drivers if they time it right on the way out of the final corner, and their opponent does not deploy with the same speed. But however, these drivers are currently 15 seconds away from Beregoz' second place. The pace at the front of this race, as it was in Red Bull, is incredible. BaloFey and Beregoz just on another league level here. 121s those laps from Beregoz. Look at the metronomic pace shown by Beregoz. He doesn't have the medium tyres. He doesn't have the soft tyre advantage. He's got the mediums on right now. Boliday's been in the 121s and occasionally in the 120s, but the fantastic pace here by Beregoz, the consistency that gives him these great results, and of course the performance over the course of the season. Vicinity down in the 123s as he's been battling with Beregoz, with Woe Grizzle, some 2 seconds a lap slower through this phase than Beregoz, our flying Finn. Redux is in 5th and showing well, as chat mentioned earlier on, and Scavy's in 6th place. Looks like Bedsty Mario and Jogon Sim are having some moments together. Let's see, did anything go on here at the Death Chicane? Joe was a little bit slow through the Death Chicane, and this is allowing Mario to get through. Had a little side swipe there, a little rude exchange. Didn't quite need to make the little tap on the wheel rims, but he did it all the same. Bestie Mario up into 9th place with Jogon Sim in 10th now. Skycloud down in 11th. I'm very surprised that Skycloud is wrestling her Ferrari engined Kimi's Racing Team SF23 around this circuit, but it's not proving to be a quick way. Yank the Tank is in 12th. We've got Senor Dude in 13th position, way off at the moment the progress of the leaders as he's going through turns 1 and 2. BaloFey is crossing the start finish line 5.6 seconds ahead of Beregoz, our Finnish racer, and BaloFey staying out for this 13th lap. I feel nervous now watching, as someone who is part of Team Mega. I really don't want our Mega drivers to take this too deep into the race. Vicinity and Woe Grizzle are ostensibly on the same strategy right now. Gok Immies apparently says red. And he's stayed in 3rd position, so clearly not delivering the kind of value that that the algorithm seems to want from our chat. So you're gonna have to find another way here. Biggerwood's managed to claim that 1st position by making fewer comments, so that's great to see. This is Soulshock and Scavy 6th and 7th respectively, 0.3 of a second separating them only between the two. Try and get you a close battle to watch on picture-in-picture. It's not functioning for me, unfortunately, and I'm getting strange things happening. I can't even get Yank the Tank's fabulous camera angles here today. So something's happened to our picture-in-picture, and I'm not entirely sure what it is. But let's have a look. We've got a medium runner on the board at the moment, and that is Scavy. I'm just interested to see what his fuel estimate is showing at the moment. It is showing that he would run out of fuel on lap 40, what? 9. So he's actually fueled to a finish at this stage. So says our fuel estimate positioning anyway. And we've got live championship standings as well. We've got a change of position there. Vicinity, I think it is, who is pitting. He's got Grizzle on his inside. They're both going through that final corner. Vicinity taking it slow on the way through. He goes into the pits. That releases Grizzle. It looks like BaloFey has pitted in that second place, and he comes out on fresh medium tyres. Then 10 seconds deficit to Beregoz. That's well within the order. We'll have a quick look at the live standings, which are going to show now for us, and that is tremendous. I absolutely love to see this. Thank you so much to Beregoz for building this. You can see that if things finish as they are, Beregoz will open up a 10-point, well, that will be a 13-point gap in the championship if things finish as they are. I don't expect things to finish as they are, but that is tremendous, tremendous information from our position there and our calculations, because everybody knows I cannot do that kind of thing myself. So this is live championship standings on your right of screen. Obviously you've got the timings there as well. As we'll drop down in the order, we can see Grizzle pits now at the end of lap 14. Was that one lap too many as he drops? Well, no, he stays in the 123s, I think, for that lap. We'll see whether his in-lap was notably slower than Vicinity. Soulshock promoted to 4th. We've got Redux up into 3rd position, and only BaloFey in front of Redux has pitted. Redux starting on the medium tyre and looking great on it as well. Vicinity seemingly coming out in 8th place and on new medium tyres. Behind him we've got Mario, and we've got Skycloud fighting over 9th position. Mario giving a nice amount of space to the inside there on the way through the Suker chicane, and of course then able to continue to battle as a result. So Skycloud in 10th. We've got Grizzle down in 11th. Grizzle having pitted a 139.6 for him. Vicinity a 125.9, no, a 137.2, excuse me, the respective in laps. So it does seem like Vicinity picked the better of the two options, the end of lap 13 or end of lap 14 for the tyres. Grizzle dropping off a cliff, so to speak, there in pace terms, dropping 2 seconds to Vicinity as the helicopter shadow. It is a frightening helicopter because you get the feeling that you're in like a Vietnam War movie when this helicopter comes directly on you after the tunnel. Let's see if I can give you that perspective. But the helicopter tends to drop straight down on you as you come through at various points in the race. It's quite entertaining, I have to say. Behind these two, you've got Yank the Tank and Senor Dude having now caught Yank and are battling over 12th position. As Red is quoting Shakespeare to try and satisfy the algorithm, and it's not working. I don't know if the historic chat interaction is being taken into account, because Pigglewood is managing to claim that top position. This is good. BaloFey catching Beregoz then now on newer medium tyres, and that's good to see for our race positioning anyway. Vader is in 5th place now after the spin earlier on. Vader catching the field, but he has lost 28 seconds to the leader, and actually probably more than that when you add a pit stop to his and Beregoz's pace, because BaloFey has made his pit stop. So it is very intriguing prospect here. Vader in 5th, still needs to make a pit stop. Should be fueled to a finish, which I don't think is quite what we were aiming for. I think we are aiming to try and get the drivers to have to refuel a little bit, or at least save a little bit of fuel throughout the course of the race. But according to the fuel estimate, seems to be indicating that the drivers can actually finish this race on the starting 100 litres of fuel. In fact, it looks like they can go to lap 48 if we were having them for the most part. Here comes Vader then in 5th place, trying to overtake Redux. And this is going to be an interesting one as Mario drops down behind Grizzle, I think, at this stage. It looks like we've got Beregoz, BaloFey, Soulshock, and then Redux here with Vader, the top 5 after 17 laps. Vader with some good pace out of the Perisic turn 6. He's not, well, I was going to say he's not using the overtake. He has then decided to use the overtake through the snake of Vida, Petrovic, Rakitic, Cilic, and into Kukoc. That slight left kink over the crest and then plunging downhill towards the Modric turn 12, and picking up a nice early exit. You can run the car nice and wide on the exit of the corner there for Vader, as he's then opening that gap already to Redux, who is on the same tyres, same fuel situation. If anything, Vader is using a little bit more fuel than Redux, but he's in that provisional P4, but he obviously needs to make a pit stop. Solshock still on that provisional podium. That would be a very popular podium if he does indeed pick that up later on. But Vader, 4th place, 28 seconds away from Beregoz, his main title rival, at the head of the championship. Just to remind you, those championship positions, BaloFey would actually start to gain some on Vader if things finish the way they are right now. Redux, of course, that doesn't take into account any stewards' decisions, and just an order of business, no stewards' decisions coming out of Red Bull Ring. Everything was obviously deemed to be within regulation, even the jump start. But yes, no decisions. Looks like no investigations either, as Biggerwood continues to claim that number 1 in the chat leaderboard. Great stuff. Love to see that. As Jogon Sim in 7th place, you've got Vicinity chasing Joe down, and Scavvy up ahead of them both. Vicinity on the medium tyres now, and running at a good pace. Has got himself into the 1:21. BaloFey holds the fastest lap at the moment. That's a 1:20.5 as they go through the Volkov chicane, which will be renamed after this week, and we'll see that in the GT3 races next weekend. This is Mario in 11th. Skycloud still in 10th place. Has Skycloud pitted? Yes, Skycloud has pitted. We'll be looking for a bit more pace now on a second set of soft tyres, and wow, that is full abuse of the curbs there. Looks like Scavvy's pitted. That's why we've got a change of position happening at the moment. Scavvy dropping down the order. Skycloud will pick up that place as well. So Scavvy looking good out there, but that now is going to have to drop behind several cars and rebuild his race. Mario in 11th, Yank the Tank in 12th. Senior Dude got close to Yank and then has dropped back again, unfortunately for him. But check this out. There is one turn, not even a sector, between Beregoz and Senior Dude at the moment. That is frightening pace after just 19 laps. Beregoz was on the same straightaway there for a moment. Could almost see the lapped, soon to be lapped final place position driver. Beregoz in 1st place. BaloFey in 2nd, having made his pit stop. The gap is now 5 seconds. It was 10 when BaloFey came out of the pits. It'll be a little bit more than that now after a little snaky moment from BaloFey. Let's have a look at how that looked from just off board. Excuse me. BaloFey on full attack here, just getting that slightly little tiny bit offline. He's got the Italian tricolore flag on his oh, you can't see it, unfortunately. Let me try this camera angle. Yes, there you go, you can see. I think that's new for BaloFey with the Italian flag on his halo. I do like it when drivers decorate the halo. I kind of feel like that should be the case, actually. We should allow drivers to decorate their halos to match their helmets, because it kind of takes some of the visibility away from their main key identifier, the helmet design in an open wheel car. Beregoz in 1st, 5.2 seconds now only ahead of BaloFey. Beregoz will be hoping to use those soft tyres soon enough, but BaloFey with the fastest lap, he's dropped it by a further 10th. Probably not this time, given that very leery moment through the Suker chicane the last time through. We've got some close battling going on back here in for 6th place. That's Vicinity in 7th, chasing Jogon Sim. Team Mega chasing Team Delesi. You all know the teams well enough now, I'm sure. Can I switch to Vader, please? I will try and give you Vader's POV, but that is just not working for me at the moment, unfortunately. That's a pit stop from Vicinity. A quick look at Vader then, perhaps, but he's a little bit on his own here. 2.2 seconds away from Soulshock, 5.2 away from Beregoz behind. My apologies, didn't catch that earlier on, Red, but here he is. So you can see 2 seconds is the gap. He is catching Soulshock, which is presumably the request reason for Red, for his teammate across division in the mega standings. Sorry, not the mega standings, but the global standings for our whole league, which everybody cares deeply about. I'll try and show you that another time here on the stream as the helicopter chases the cars down. And Vader, I don't know if he actually tagged the wall there as he went through out of the Modric turn 12. Let's get a close look at this as he runs through it. It looked like he was making a correction. That is fast through there, and he gets on the power, and then that's that's a few centimeters from the wall, but he didn't quite tag it, so he's safe. In goes Vader then, off the medium tyres after 21 laps. So it's a two-stopper confirmed for everybody with using, who are at least those that are using the soft tyre. Now, it was a soft and medium race in Red Bull Ring, but whether the hard tyre was any use at all, you have to ask SkyCloud, because it didn't seem to work out for SkyCloud using that hard tyre at the end. Unfortunately, though, a little spin at the end of the race didn't really help matters. Vicinity is now in 4th, close to exactly where he started, in fact, with Soulshock still on his medium tyres at the front of the field. Soulshock has protected those medium tyres very well indeed. I wonder if Soulshock is thinking about the one-stopper here. He is at the halfway point of the race, and I don't think he's halfway won in those medium tyres, so he's got to be thinking about it, surely. And if anyone is going to be able to tyre whisper and set up a car around a circuit's demands, it's going to be Soulshock. He is our setup whiz. And amongst our regular season drivers, I know that Matt Debater is a very strong setup guy as well, but he's race directing us and hosting the lobby today. Whoa, Vader is not taking this easy at all, as he's stuck behind Woe Grizzle. He's come out of the pits. Is he going to try and get a 2-for-1 here as he splits the two rivals, Vicinity and Woe Grizzle, who have been locked in their own battle throughout the race? 3 wide underneath the Dragon Trail hoardings there and the start-finish lights, as Vader's trying to find his way through. Gets out on the marbles a little bit as he runs down into Suker chicane. Vicinity allows space behind, unfortunately for the Vicinity, and this is similar to what happened in the Red Bull Ring, which we broadcast just earlier today. He's ended up leaving himself vulnerable there by allowing Vader probably slightly too much space on the way into the corner. He's compromised himself, and Woe Grizzle's been able to go through and make the overtake and follow Vader through. Unfortunately, as they run into then the next right-hander, obviously Vicinity had to be a little bit cagier going into that run. So Vicinity trying to do the right thing in terms of sporting requirements, which is to allow the leader through, to allow a faster car through. However, that was for position that time. Vader in 4th place is 36 seconds away from BaloFey's lead. Frightening at the moment. If anyone can do it, though, Vader can do it, I'm sure. BaloFey and Beregoz has pitted. He didn't quite go to the halfway point of the race. I'm sure we'll use 2 sets of soft tyres now for the end of the race. But BaloFey leading by 9.4 seconds and looking fantastic. So Biggerwood now is just burying Red in the chat here. Vader spun in lap 1, says Rents. Yeah, that's info for Biggerwood, who was late to the party. You have to say. I don't know if you were late for the AN race as well. I heard your name being called, Big, so I don't know if it's just a late day for you today. Excuse me. I'm just recovering from this flu, so the voice is not holding up well, shall we say. Soulshock in 3rd place, Vader in 4th. We've got Vicinity and Woe Grizzle in well, 6th and 5th positions respectively as they come through. There is Vicinity, and that's probably the closest battle on the grid at the moment, Vicinity to Woe Grizzle. Unfortunately, looks like the gaps have opened out very neatly at the moment. No, Jogon Sim in 10th is right with, is so close to Skycloud that they were overlapping on the track map that I can see. Anyway, this is Jogon Sim versus Skycloud. Skycloud's holding onto the inside line. There was a tiny touch there between the two of them as they went through Modric corner. And then Jogon Sim has to navigate the Death Chicane in the dirty air with limited visibility, stuck behind the Kimi's Racing Ferrari-powered SF23, the Mercedes engine of the Delesi. Oh, that's going to be clumsy if you turn someone around on their rear quarter like that. Jogon Sim just easing off the throttle sufficiently. Neither driver wanting, I think, to use the overtake boost at this stage on lap 25 of 45. Jogon Sim drawing alongside. He's worked hard to get this overlap, and on the racing line, well, he turns into the corner, and Skycloud claims that inside line again and then struggles to get away from the corner. And I'm not sure on the rights and wrongs of that. We will take another look as we go through here, because for me that looked like it was Joe who was sufficiently ahead in the braking zone, and then Skycloud just outbrakes him in the second phase of the corner as well, and muscles her way through and back into the position. She holds on in 9th place. Let me know what you think about that one. But Jogon Sim, unperturbed, still going for it, and then a little squeeze to the outside. That looks a little aggressive at my first viewing of it anyway. Looks like he wasn't given the space to the outside of the circuit, was Joe. Let's have a look. He's got a good run going here. He's not even using the overtake button. He's on the outside, heading straight towards the corner, and then, well, there's a natural pinch point. Obviously, Skycloud wants the better grippy side of the circuit to brake, but Joe has managed to get himself alongside momentarily there, I think, and they continue to battle. The Joe and Skycloud. What a great view of this run we have at the moment. Delesi versus Kimi's, and Joe just trying to wait for a mistake now, I think, going through Chicane Chicane. This is Jogon Sim on new soft tyres, Skycloud on very old soft tyres, so Skycloud is hanging on by the fingernails here as Joe moves left, Jinx right, little touch in the mid corner as Skycloud has obviously got a lower minimum speed at the apex. Try commentating in mime, says Rents, to save my voice. Well, I think I'm probably going to give up my USP if I do that, Rents. I'll do my best, but yeah, I'm going to keep trying to hydrate, but they just keep trying to make overtakes, these two. Joe, wow, that was very, very marginal to try and get his overlap done. Skycloud holds on to the grippier side of the circuit for her run out, but she is running out of tyres. It is a matter of time here. Still getting good grip on the exit of the corner is Skycloud. Is Joe just hanging out in the blind spot here for a late dive to the inside through the Ivanisevic final corner? Joe looking like he's got a good line here, spams that overtake button. Looks like Skycloud using it as well. It is absolutely anyone's between these two. I'd love to see it. BaloFey leads Beregoz and Soulshock at the head of the field. The gap at the moment 6.7 seconds. Beregoz is closing that gap, and wow, Joe tried to sweep across. Skycloud was there. These two are really going at it here and just about staying on the circuit. I'm not quite sure how, but they are backing each other up into the clutches of Mario. And that's something they need to be thinking about. Vader has the fastest lap at the moment at 1:19.636. Joe has been fast through this snake section, especially well. He's got this tyre advantage right now. He's using the Bridgestones. Is Jogon Sim. I'm not sure who the tyre supplier is for Kimi's. Perhaps Red can fill me on that detail. Skycloud goes deep into the corner. Mario tries a speculative one. Joe isn't going to be suffering that one too quickly, and really only has eyes for the inside line on Skycloud here. This is Bedsty Mario's view of it as he goes down into the corner. He sees the door open on the way into Modric. A late move to the inside, tags over the line, and then just a little bit happy on the throttle. Damages his front wing, unfortunately, does Mario. And so we go back. In fact, he's dropped down several positions as these two continue. Vader's got up to 3rd place at the moment, ahead, I imagine, of that is Soul Shock and Wogrizzle. As Joe goes around the outside, Skycloud tags again. It's just, I think it's her natural line through that Suka chicane, but that really needs to modify it if you've got a driver alongside you. Jogon Sim again struggling to make the pass in one foul swoop, and Skycloud hanging on here. Joe must be getting really frustrated. Yeah, Apex Spec saying it's Pirelli. It should be an Italian tyre manufacturer for sure. And Jogon Sim then chasing down Skycloud. For some reason my Discord notifications are popping off here at the moment. I'm not entirely sure what's going on as Joe tries to take that outside line again, and a little squeeze once again from Skycloud. I think perhaps just not fully aware of her surroundings at this stage as Joe, or maybe she knows exactly where she is and it's all quite deliberate. But Skycloud is lap 28 of 45. This is how hard our drivers fight over 9th position. And looking for the outside-inside manoeuvre there goes Jogon Sim. Got to be careful offline, and he uses the overtake. I think Skycloud might well be doing the same. She has used a lot of overtake at this stage of the race, as Joe then says, look, I've had enough. I'm just going to use my overtake up to get ahead of you. Now, do not run into me on the way into this chicane, please. Jogon Sim needs to complete this move, needs to be smooth now. Use the strength of his car, which is the soft tyre grip he's got available to him versus Skycloud, and he doesn't need to lose position now. It's lap 29 of 45. Back to the battles at the head of the field. You've got BaloFey. It's not even a battle right now. It's BaloFey 4.8 seconds ahead of Beregoz. Vader is 31 seconds away. Hasn't really made any inroads into BaloFey's lead over him after that spin. If anything, it was 28 seconds earlier on. It's now in 3rd, as Red says, we can only afford Hankook tires. Okay. Soul Shock in 4th place has been deposed thanks to his pit stop. I don't think that was an overtake from Vader. He's now got Wogrizzle behind him. Vicinity's dropped to 6th place and running through his medium tyres at the moment. Excuse me, sorry folks, I know it's awful. Apparently I woke up Beregoz's dogs earlier, coughing into the mic. So my apologies to the Flying Finnish dogs. Who have we got close to one another at the moment? I've got Senor Dude, I think, closing in at the very tail of our field on Mario. Skycloud now pits to get off those soft tyres, and Senor Dude has had a long wait to try and get off the final position here in the race, the wooden spoon of our Croatian round. This is round 10 of the VR Sim Racing World Championship, of course. You know that by now, but it bears repeating. This is a VR exclusive league, so that the drivers can fight on equal terms with one another. With limited vision. We're using the Hector Race AI engineer, and you can interact with Hector. If you want to know more about all of this stuff, go to info.svr-racing.com and check out all the racing information and find out key stats from your favourite driver. If you find a curiosity while you're watching the race, do drop it in the chat. I'd love to have little factoids about the drivers. But Senor Dude finally getting up into 12th position, and that has been very long in coming, as Mario's on slightly newer tyres. And sorry Senor Dude, but Mario takes the place straight back again, and Senor Dude having to do the work all over again, and that is painful. That is real pain when you've worked that hard for that position and then you lose it and straight back again immediately. Skycloud in 10th place after her pit stop. Where is she? Well, she's 19 seconds away from Jogon Sim, and I think that might be teammate. No, that's not Joe. So that's Beregoz putting a lap on Skycloud. A very different situation to what we saw in the Red Bull Ring. I think Skycloud was lapped by the very end of the race, but certainly not in the second third of the race and before her little spin at the Red Bull Ring. Dragon Sim in ninth. We've got Scavi in 8th place. Redux in 7th as he goes through that difficult chicane. Redux there for Yamplakt Interiors running P6. Vicinity has opened out a nice gap to Woe Grizzle, nearly 10 seconds now, Vicinity, and we'll be thinking about whether he can get on terms with Soul Shock. Vicinity though on his medium tyres and quite late into this medium tyre run. Vader, where is he at the moment? Well, he's on the soft tyres. He's running hard. He really only knows one pace, and that is absolutely flat out Vader. But unfortunately, occasionally, we end up with a little spin. And not for the first time this season, Vader has shown a slight weakness, a slight propensity to just lean on those track limits just slightly too much. Rent's saying Beregoz is closing on BaloFey, and it's impressive. Well, do you know what? I mean, it is obviously impressive. The pace of our drivers is Beregoz now pits, but BaloFey is the impressive one today for me, because this pace has come good now for BaloFey, and he was a huge margin in racing terms away from the lead drivers in Red Bull Ring, and something special has happened with BaloFey's preparation, or just the way this track flows for him. This, for me, is a standout performance of the season so far from BaloFey. 18 seconds ahead of Beregoz. And obviously Vader's had his troubles, but BaloFey already with really strong pace took the lead at the start of the race. He's not really slowing down on the medium tyres. He's got 1 minute, low 1 minute 21s. He's got a highlight lap 28.25 of a high 1 minute 20s in this stint of proceedings. Really showing some great skill out there. Beregoz has got to deal with a lap runner at the moment. I want to bet that that's Mario at this stage, because Woe Grizzle has been placed a little bit higher. BaloFey now pits, only halfway, just over halfway through his medium tyres, but possibly thinking that with 12 complete laps to go, the soft tyre is an available option to him. Maybe he'll go for some mediums for safety. But that is Vader. That's not, I must say, that is Senor Dude, the, excuse me, the coach, Dave Carr. As that is BaloFey exiting the pits. Beregoz, well, he didn't want to be held up by BaloFey coming through, but I don't know, that was quite muscular there from the drivers. As we'll go to the right camera, not necessarily look at an engineer's ankle, but this is BaloFey's view of it. He just gets nerfed in the back from Beregoz. Not a lot of space left there for his run through, unfortunately, but Beregoz gets into the lead of the race then, one way or another, by half a second. Beregoz on new soft tyres, BaloFey on new soft tyres, and that was a monumental outlap from Beregoz to make that one run. Certainly elbows out, says Empire, as and talking for the first time today. I didn't even know you were here, Empire, as BaloFey runs through this run. So we do have a competitive run. Beregoz undercutting BaloFey, and BaloFey has the tyre advantage of 1 lap life. He's got the pace advantage over the course of the race so far. This, of course, is a golden situation for Vader, who's chasing them both down. Here comes BaloFey. Not a lot of the overtake boost remaining to BaloFey, though, and the car 92 retakes the lead of the race. He's just weaving to the inside just to dissuade Beregoz, and actually they're fighting on even terms when it comes to available overtake boost. We are going to have a great final 10 laps of this round 10 of the championship, as Beregoz versus BaloFey is absolutely ready to kick off between the two of them, both on soft tyres. Just 1 lap of age difference between them. Of course, you can see that on our brilliant display now. You can see the age of the tyres. Shout out to Scavi again for his second race on the trot, lifting multiple places, 6 places up from his start. Once again, as he did earlier on, BaloFey is right out on that curb on the way into Modric. He's got the gap. Please, BaloFey, calm down a bit, because I know you want to gap Beregoz and break his spirit, but then I haven't even completed my thought, and BaloFey is into the wall at the death chicane, and a more significant run through this chicane I don't think we have seen yet today. Here we go through Crocop into Woods. I was just begging him to slow down, and boom! That was an unusual one. That was really unusual for me, for BaloFey, but now he's got damage both axles, and he's into the pits to mend that damage. That is the win out of the window at the moment for BaloFey. Beregoz cannot believe his luck. That is absolutely heartbreaking as BaloFey straps on a new set of soft tyres, doesn't need any fuel, and he stays in second place. I cannot believe that has happened just as I was begging BaloFey to calm down a bit. That is crazy. But I just had that feeling on the approach into turn 12, the Modric corner, that he was stretching the limit just that little bit too much when he'd already got a 1 second gap to the car behind. But far be it for me to say anything to BaloFey about how to drive a car, but it just felt like things were getting a little bit too close for comfort. Here is Scavi versus Vicinity now. Scavi to climb another place in the order. He is right with Vicinity, who's on brand new soft tyres. This looks like they've come out of the pits recently, Vicinity and Scavi on pretty old medium tyres. It's going to be a challenge to get those home clean, but a three-way battle for 6th, 7th and 8th, Vicinity, Scavi and Redux at the moment. Beregoz is your leader. A whole pit stop between himself and BaloFey for Team Mega, unfortunately. The pace is right there for BaloFey. They have very little in the way of boost remaining to him, and neither does Beregoz, but you've got to say it would be absolutely miraculous if he can close that gap at the head of the field. 19 seconds with 9 laps to go for Beregoz and BaloFey at the head of the field. Vader is in P3 at the moment. I'm not able to get you any picture-in-picture right now. Some link has broken there, and I'm not entirely sure what's happening, I'm afraid. Sorry to say. Let's do those live championship positions, though, shall we, for the remainder of the race, because it is really important. Scavi now pits, unfortunately, and we'll need a new set of medium tyres. That is very much not the plan for me. So Beregoz will lead Vader by an increasing margin of 4 points, 4 additional points. That will make 7, I think, total. Excuse me. Beregoz ahead of Vader. BaloFey will gain points, of course, and a gap to P4's Soul Shock. But wow, it would have been so much better had BaloFey been able to secure the win here today. We've got 8 to go. I think that is the gap at the front of the field. 19 seconds now, as we can have a look at the battle for 10th place. It's Skycloud versus Yank the Tank here. Yank on newer mediums, Skycloud on slightly older softs, which will die off towards the end of the race. But Skycloud, you'd fancy, has got more underlying pace here than Yank the Tank, but perhaps having something of an off day. Skycloud, I don't know if something has affected her preparation, like a holiday herself or something, but yeah, not quite all together here at Dragon Trail Seaside. Of course, a lot of our drivers here in this S1 division drove this track last year, so have a lot of muscle memory, a lot of not so much setup skill, but they have a lot of strategy and race management practice effect in the tank here. No pun intended, as Yank is following Skycloud 1.1 seconds away. Empire says such an unusual place to crash in this car. Balo was just so keen to open the gap, I think, to Beregoz. I'm sure he'll fill us all in later, but yeah, absolute tragedy to lose the car at that point. Obviously, it's a typical place to lose the car in most of the GT7 cars, but these cars, as you've seen, go pretty much flat out through the chicane in most conditions. But something happened through that third corner that looked a little bit unusual. I don't know if it was a lag spike, because there did appear to be a slight jink. I don't know if you can watch it back. Of course, I can't, but you can rewind and watch it back while we're live and make a comment. But I kind of feel like I saw a slight teleportation across on that turn 3, and of course that's all it takes, because you are absolutely on the ragged edge at that moment, and it just spat him straight into the fourth portion of the corner, and he just headed directly towards that orange barrier. It's lap 38 of 45. Senor Dude is at the back of the grid. Beregoz has a lead of 18.4 seconds as he's getting blue flag treatment. BaloFey will likewise be getting blue flag treatment as well. And now, only 2.7 seconds behind him is Vader. And that was some 28 seconds, actually 31 seconds earlier on, that BaloFey had ahead of Vader. And that is what that crash and pit stop has cost BaloFey. But 2.6 seconds, as they Ren says it really did look like a lag spike. So yeah, I don't think at any point have I sort of criticised Balo, but if I have, then I have to apologise, because just a crying shame. But he was clearly pushing very hard. If you look at the Modric corner that preceded it, that's what frightened me. The fastest lap so far, Vader, on a 1:18.184. He also has a bit more boost remaining to him than BaloFey ahead, who's just using the very last of his overtake allowance. So this could still heat up for a battle here. 5 laps to go. Vader, I'm sure, trying to pick things up. Empire saying it would be absolutely appalling look if he got a lag spike in the middle of the chicane. Yeah, a firm to that, most definitely. Soul Shock wiggling his way through the Ishii corner, and now Perisic, as we go with Woe Grizzle in 5th place. Vicinity has dropped behind Woe Grizzle by 10 seconds, and this is really seesawed. And between the two, they've been together, then they've been 10 seconds apart to Vicinity's profit, and then now they're 10 seconds apart to Woe Grizzle's profit. Really strange, as they've been on almost identical strategies, these two. We've got Redux in 7th and Jogon Sim in 8th after his long battle with Skycloud, and that is something else that's happening at the moment. We've got a couple of we've got Yank the Tank, I think, making a move here. What happened? Because I'm pretty sure Yank the Tank got ahead of Skycloud. Let's have a look. This is Yank using the overtake boost. Does Yank actually make the move? He does. Looks like Skycloud has drained the tank, and a very easy pass. No, Skycloud just wasn't defending on that portion, but she's holding on to some boost for the end of the race. She now has quite a bit more than Yank the Tank in front, as they are being lapped by the leader, Beregoz. So that's P11 and P10 about to be lapped. As Red says, back on P1. I'm not sure what you mean by that. You want me to have a look at Beregoz? Or this is just P1 coming through, I think, is what you're saying. So Beregoz P1 at the moment. Oh, sorry, no, you're back on P1 in the chat. Nice one. Okay. The important part of today's broadcast is who wins the leaderboard competition in the chat. 16 seconds is Beregoz's lead to BaloFey. The gap, though, to back to Vader is only 1.1 seconds. BaloFey catching a little bit of a toe coming on the approach to the final corner. Going to take this one fairly steadily. Needs some kindness on the outside here from the Brokaga car. Did they touch on the way through? I'm not entirely sure. This is crazy stuff, as BaloFey is having to take huge risks to make the pass. It's lap 42 of 45. He has led this race. He has been incredibly quick today, but he has been vulnerable, as has Vader, to the odd mistake. Just one little momentary issue, or not even a mistake perhaps, as we're speculating potential lag spike for BaloFey through the chicane, but clearly he was pushing crazily hard with 1 second in front at that point. Empire says we need a Webo fan club with badges. You will have that on my channel. That is unlocked on my channel too, so we can enjoy that on the next broadcast when we're live, which should be for SVR. Should be this time next week for the G1 GT3 race around this very track for their round 10 of the championship, as Vader now closes to within a second of BaloFey here as we get through. You can also join my channel for perks. There are 4 levels of channel membership, and several drivers have already done that. Shout out especially to Nintendo for his patronage on the channel there as well. So there are many ways of supporting both my channel and the SVR Racing channel, and I hope you are going to continue to be a subscriber and get just one person we need for every member of our channel, of our Discord server. To add one person as a subscriber, we will get monetized very, very quickly, because we will be adding plenty of time here. Vader is losing the tires. He's clearly losing the car then, going through the final corner and through the turns 1 and 2. This car is getting very loose on our Dark Lord of the Sith. Vader struggling here, and the gap has opened out now to 1.9 seconds. Spamming Championship is brought to you by sponsor, says Ren's. Nice one. And Apex Specs can barely look at what's happening at the moment, as it is a race to lose the podium, it seems, between Vader and BaloFey. It is 43 of 45 on the clock. Beregoz has only a 15-second lead. Well, it was up over 20 seconds earlier on. He's clearly just stroking this one home, trying to protect the tyres. Those soft tyres go off very quickly when they do go off. Vader still closing in on BaloFey. Can he possibly minimize his losses here to just a win to a second place between himself and BaloFey? You can see that live championship standings on the screen at the moment. Props to Beregoz for building that. That's tremendous. Of course, that doesn't take into account any steward inquiries, but I haven't seen anything among the top 3 at least that would warrant that. Well, Grizzle is putting a lap, I think, here on Senor Dude, who has been at the back. It won't be a surprise to see Senor Dude looking at a Brocargo car. Vicinity nearly a minute away from the lead of the race, but is in 6th place. He started in 4th, but has been fighting hard throughout this race. I think he'll see it as a slight missed opportunity, possibly qualifying as well as he did here for Team Mega, but still great points for Team Mega on the board at the moment. And he's looking right now at P5 in the championship by a single point if he can overtake Arya. So that is certainly no mean feat. However, you've got Redux trying to take that position away. Here comes Redux down the outside. A little bit of help from the overtake boost, and around the outside into the Suka chicane. Both cars go deep, both leave enough space. Bravo to the 2 of them, as they both miscalculate on the way into the Suka chicane, but this battle will continue through Ishii into Perisic as we try to get down into the corner. Vicinity with a little bit of boost left, not quite as much as Redux. He doesn't know, of course, how much Redux has. He just knows that he has less than 25% at this stage, as we close in on the final portion of this race. As we look forward to seeing what's going to become. This is the closest battle. This couldn't be much closer. Vicinity shapes to the outside into Moderate, sweeps around the outside, doesn't quite make the exit. He should have the advantage of the better grip on that way out of the corner, and completes the move, takes the position back, almost spits himself into the barrier through the chicane. Vicinity, how did he avoid that barrier? What a sequence from Vicinity and Redux. And this will continue to run. I cannot, though, miss the final run through the last few corners for our potential podium, as we've got ice in the veins for Beregoz, says Empire, who is, of course, a little bit biased, but he goes through that chicane. That's the last difficult moment dealt with for Beregoz, as he goes under the tunnel, heads down deep in towards that Ivanisevic final corner. The helicopter tunes in, makes sure he is right with our race leader, and yet again, and twice on the bounce, Beregoz wins in SVR's S1. This is round 10 in Croatia. BaloFey comes through, and he will complete a great race in the end. Great points for the team, and BaloFey finishes in 2nd to Vader's 3rd position. Soulshock, congratulations to this guy, because what a great run from him for Kimi's racing team here to come home in 4th place. The tyres just screaming for mercy at the end, finishing with a tiny bit of boost, a little bit of fuel on board, and Soulshock finishes home in 4th. Where Grizzle will take home 5th place, no question in my mind at all about that one. Senor Dude's going to finish at the back, 1 lap down. Here comes Vicinity ahead of Redux. It's 0.4 of a second. Dare Redux go for a dive bomb into the final corner. Vicinity was almost welcoming him to the opportunity by getting some grass on that tyre on the way into the corner. But as they power on out of the corner, it's a drag race to the line. Vicinity finishes 28 thousandths of a second ahead of Redux. Jogon Sim coming home in 8th with Scavy. Skycloud finishing 10th. Yank the Tank in 11th. Bedstimar in 12th. Senor Dude. But Beregoz, your Delesi driver, your leader of the championship, will extend that lead in the championship as well with that tremendous finish. What a great run from Beregoz. Another win from Beregoz. That is very, very impressive stuff. That, by my count, that makes win number 4 for Beregoz versus 5 for Vader. So it is really, really tight at the top of the championship. Tremendous race from the two of them. There you have it. You've got, and look at the best lap difference between them. Between first and second there, incredibly tight between them. Beregoz then finishing 13.5 seconds in the end ahead of BaloFey, with Vader in 3rd. Soulshock finishes 4th, and then Woe Grizzle in 5th place. Vicinity, the Irishman, in 6th, finishing, so that means Mega finished in 2nd and 6th places, so the best finishing team, with Redux and Jogon Sim. Joe finishing in 1st and Delesi 1st and 8th, then Redux in 7th place. At the back of the grid, we have Scavy in 9th, Skycloud in 10th, Yank the Tank in 11th, Mario in 12th, and Senor Dude. Thanks to Matt Debater for hosting the session today. Not quite sure what happened in the middle between qualifying and the race. Maybe that was scheduled. I'm not entirely sure at the moment. But there you go. Fastest lap for Vader as well. He'll pick up an extra point for that one. Thanks, everybody, for taking part in our race as much as you have done. It's great to have everybody with us. I really appreciate it. Love a live broadcast. I've been doing a lot of replays lately, so I love to see everybody live. Thanks so much for all your efforts. And yeah, from us here at SVR, make sure that you are following the channel. Make sure you are part of the Discord membership. But most importantly, tune in next week. It'll be on my channel for the rest of the races. Should have a race or two on Thursday night this week as well, if I can get everything together in time. And I should also be able to release the G1 race from Red Bull once my voice can allow me to do some catch up. But yeah, that's us for today. I hope everyone's enjoyed it, and from me and the whole team here at SVR, thank you so much for watching. We will catch you on the next race day.